What is that Remco Evenepoel has on his bike? Is that a dinner plate? Is that what he's using to eat his post-race recovery meal afterwards? We have the Al Hudyrat Island TT, a couple of sharp corners, and it's pancake flat. The wind would get stronger later in the day. It was an advantage to go early. We're at the Abu Dhabi Cycle Club where we saw some Falcons at the start, and I wonder what their CDA is compared to Remco, who maybe has the lowest CDA of everyone.
I think for me it's a good first opportunity to take some advantage on the other GC guys, so I will do my best and make sure I can be ahead.
Would it be important to take a big advantage?
As big as possible, of course. I think the bigger the better, but it's not a super long TT, so I just have to do a very good TT, and then we will see afterwards what the result will be. I will focus first on trying to win, and then we see about the time gaps.
But starting first was Remy Cavagna on Groupama FDJ United. We saw almost all the GC leaders, all the stage hopefuls starting early. We had no frame of reference for Cavagna he was the first rider off. Plapp was off shortly afterwards, who's been in good shape. We saw Remco Evenepoel fiddling with his bike, which I think Remco's got to stop fiddling with his bike before TTs. He dropped his chain before, but I think that was when he did a backswing. Although I was wondering, what is this little maneuver he did at the start of the TT? Is it to break the hold of the guy behind him so he can pedal easier to get on top of the big gear at the start? Anyway, I found it interesting. Maybe he's done it before. Maybe it's a new thing. This is his first TT, I believe, on Red Bull Borhansgrove. We don't count the team time trial in January, but he's flying, of course. The headwind section would suit him the most. He did miss this corner. He was tight to the right-hand line, but then actually carried too much speed and had to break out of the extensions, which cost him, a second or so. He was up on Cavagna at T1, although not by much. And I was wondering, is Cavagna just doing a good TT? Is Remco not doing a great TT? But yeah, he was up comfortably at T1, but you'd expect that. It's the headwind section. Remco has a lower CDA than all the big TT guys, so he should have a bit of an advantage in the headwind section. But Remco beats Cavagna by less than I expected, 12 seconds, and he was also 8 seconds slower than Joshua Tarling's time on this course in previous years. So the stage win I thought was more than up for grabs. But every day's different. And when we started to see the times rolling in from the other GC contenders, Adam Richard, who's been in okay shape, he didn't win the GC at Oman, but he loses a minute plus to Remco in a 12K TT. Derek G now on Little Trek, his first appearance for the team. What could he do? The answer was, not much for everybody compared to Remco. The best guys were losing 30 to 40 seconds. Derek G's a good time trial rider. In the Giro last year, it was a weapon that he used. He loses 35 seconds. Van Wilder, 34 seconds. Tiberi, also very competent time trial rider. He loses best part of 40 seconds. So Joshua Tarling, he's the only man that can challenge Remco. He won this stage before, but he looked good. It's hard to tell from the eye test how riders are going. He's got the, advantage in raw power on the tailwind section coming back in. He's got the disadvantage in the headwind section. He's able to stay in the extensions through that sweeping right-hander, although he has to break his pedal stroke for a little bit. He's 4 seconds down at T1, which is more than in the game. Remco should be quicker than him for the first slower part. He normally, or Ineos, especially with Ghana, they've tended to do negative splits. So 4 seconds, he's more than in the game, but he wasn't able to make that up. In some of the corners, maybe he lost it. He's a bit bigger than Remco, although, Remco missed that earlier sweeping corner, but you can see Tarling's pushing it as you have to try and win this sort of stage. Every second might count, and he's not able to. We saw with 200 meters to go, he's about to break even with Remco's time, and he finishes 6 seconds quicker than Cavagna. So it ended up being Remco did a good time, Cavagna did a really, really good time, and Tarling wasn't able to keep up this time with Remco. Although maybe Ethan Hayter was underrated. Maybe he was a chance to win the stage. He's already won quite a few time trials on Soudal Quickstep. He got a very aggressive position, Remco-style position. When you compare that position to Remco, to Tarling, you can see Tarling's at the disadvantage to the more compact operators. And why am I showing you Matteo Malacelli? Why am I showing you Simone Consoni rolling off with a huge gear, Italian sprinters and lead-out men, and then following it with Isaac Del Toro having some last-minute adjustments. Because he won the stage yesterday, Del Toro had to go last, which meant he was in the worst time slot wind-wise around guys who simply do not care about their time, the lead-out men and sprinters who are just rolling around. They get put in that slot. He had that slot. So the rules of the UAE Tour are not doing him any favors. Just after winning the stage yesterday, it was actually a hindrance to win the stage. And those 10 bonies, he probably lost them and maybe more because of his time slot in the TT today. When we saw, and you see the wind is stronger. It was a 10 kilometer an hour, maybe a bit less headwind on the first half of this TT for the early starters. Maybe that's why Remco is looking happy, because he knows it's 15 kph plus for Isaac Del Toro. And when we see the long shot going into the intermediate time check, we could see that he was a long, long way away from that. And he would be, around a lot of the other GC contenders, but actually behind a few of them like the Tiberi, although not big time gaps because it's only a 12k TT. And you see like just his position into that corner, chest not as low as Remco and even Tarling, and then sprinting with the upright chest afterwards, seemed to struggle to keep a closed space between his chin, helmet, and his arms. But maybe that was just a ploy to put more power out. I don't know. It depends what you're looking for. Maybe some riders looking for CDA like Hayter, some looking for more power. But he finishes 42 seconds down, big time gap. So Remco not only wins the stage, he also takes a huge gap on every other GC contender. Here's what he had to say.
And this is your first individual victory at the UAE Tour. Were you chasing that?
Yeah, a little bit, because we won the TTT in 2023, and then I was twice second on the uphill finishes. So it's a very good feeling to take my first victory or individual stage victory in the UAE Tour.
After yesterday's result, were you expecting Isaac Del Toro to do better in the time trial?
No, I think he did the maximum he could. Of course, we knew that it was going to be a bit better to start early, but in the end, he won yesterday, I won today, so I think we both have already one stage win in our pockets. So I think nobody has any regrets, and I think from now on it's going to be the GC battle that will be open.
More comfortable to be in a defense mode?
Yeah, for sure. I think especially with the very hard climbs, it's a bit more comfortable to defend it than to have to attack. So I think this is a perfect situation for us, perfect scenario, and now we have to try to defend it till Sunday.
In terms of GC, it mostly follows the stage results, although Tiberi took bonus seconds yesterday, so he's up into 8th. But big time gaps for Remco to defend. I mean, he can be passive, defensive on the climb tomorrow, although it's not like draft matters too much. It's 7 kilometers, 12%. It's going to be an absolutely cracking stage. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you with a recap of that then. Ciao, ciao.